Ah, life, this chaotic, unpredictable masterpiece. Everyone wants it to be neat, orderly, and easy to follow, like some perfectly written script. But the truth? The truth is life has no script. There's no roadmap, no manual, no lines whispered into your ear telling you what to do next. And isn't that beautiful? Isn't that what makes it terrifyingly perfect? You see, people walk around with this illusion that life is supposed to make sense, that everything should fall into place like pieces of a puzzle. They cling to their plans, their routines, their precious little scripts, and when things go off course, when reality refuses to play along, they panic. They crumble. They call it a failure. But let me ask you this. Who told you it was supposed to be easy? Who promised you that life would follow your carefully crafted plan? Because whoever did, they lied to you. Life isn't some tidy story with a clear beginning, middle, and end. Life is chaos. Life is pain. Life is raw. And if you're waiting for it to hand you a script, to give you the answers, you'll be waiting forever. No, life doesn't hand you a script. It throws you into the spotlight and says, figure it out. And that's where most people fall apart. They want instructions, guidance, someone to tell them what to do. But the ones who rise, the ones who thrive, they understand something crucial. The lack of a script is a gift, because when there's no script, you get to write the story. Now, here's the thing, most people are terrified of that freedom. They don't want the responsibility of being the author of their own lives. It's easier to blame someone else, to point fingers, to say, this isn't my fault. This isn't how it was supposed to go. But let me tell you something. The moment you stop waiting for life to tell you what to do, the moment you stop looking for a script, that's the moment you take control. Because life isn't about knowing what's coming next. It's about adapting. It's about improvising. It's about standing on that stage, under the harsh glare of the spotlight, and saying, all right, let's see what I can do. And trust me, it won't be perfect. It'll be messy, chaotic. There'll be mistakes, oh, plenty of mistakes. But that's what makes it real. That's what makes it yours. Think about it, every great story, every legend, every icon you've ever admired, they didn't follow a script. They didn't have a plan handed to them on a silver platter. They faced chaos. They faced uncertainty. And instead of running from it, they embraced it. They took the blank page life gave them and wrote something unforgettable. But you're still waiting, aren't you? Still hoping someone will come along and tell you what to do. Still clinging to the idea that there's a right way to live. Well, let me break it to you, there isn't. There's no right way. No wrong way. There's only your way. And until you accept that, you'll always feel lost. Always feel stuck. The truth is, life isn't interested in your plans. It doesn't care about your expectations. It's wild, unpredictable, brutal. And you have two choices. You can let it break you, or you can rise above it. You can let the chaos consume you, or you can use it to create something extraordinary. You think the world owes you something? That because you've suffered, because you've struggled, life should finally give you a break? No, life owes you nothing. It doesn't care about your tears, your pain, your sacrifices. But that's not a bad thing, because it means you don't owe the world anything either. You're free. Free to do what you want. Free to be who you are. Free to write your own damn story. But freedom is scary, isn't it? It's easier to follow the script, even when it's not working, even when it's suffocating you, because at least it's familiar. At least it's safe. But safety is a lie. Comfort is a trap. The script you're clinging to, it's the very thing holding you back. Let it go. Burn it. Tear it to shreds. Because only when you let go of the script can you truly start living. Only when you embrace the chaos can you find your strength. Only when you step into the unknown can you discover who you really are. You see, life's greatest moments don't happen when everything's going according to plan. They happen when the plan falls apart. When you're forced to adapt, to grow, to fight. That's when you find out what you're made of. That's when you discover your resilience, your power, your will to survive. But most people never get there. They're too afraid. Afraid to fail. Afraid to fall. Afraid to face the unknown. And so they stay stuck. Trapped in a life they don't want, living a script they didn't write. All because they're too scared to take control. But you're different, aren't you? You're not afraid of the chaos. You're not afraid to fall, because you know that every fall is just a step towards something greater. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is an opportunity to rise stronger than before. So, stop waiting for life to hand you the perfect script. Stop waiting for things to make sense. They won't. And that's okay. Because life isn't meant to be predictable. It's meant to challenge you, to test you, to push you to your limits. And when it does, when life knocks you down and leaves you gasping for air, don't ask why. Don't look for meaning. Just get up. Keep going. Write the next chapter. Because the story isn't over until you say it is. Remember this, the only script that matters is the one you write for yourself. And if you're brave enough, bold enough, crazy enough to embrace the chaos, you can create something extraordinary, something unforgettable, something that will make the world stop and take notice. So go ahead. Step into the unknown. Face the chaos. Embrace the pain. And write the story only you can tell. Because life has no script, and that's what makes it worth living. The script you write for your life isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's not about crafting some flawless masterpiece that will impress the world. No, it's about creating something real, something raw, filled with scars and triumphs, pain and joy, heartbreak and hope. It's about embracing every single page, no matter how messy, no matter how chaotic, and owning it like the warrior you are. You see, the beauty of life without a script is that you're not confined by anyone else's rules. You're not limited by what society says you should do or who you should be. You're free to experiment, to fail, to rise, and to reinvent yourself over and over again. You're free to dream as big as you dare, to take risks that terrify you, and to chase passions that set your soul on fire. But let me tell you something, they'll try to stop you. Oh, they'll try to drag you down. They'll mock you, laugh at you, call you foolish for daring to step off the path they've laid out for you. They'll try to chain you to their script, to their expectations, to their limitations. Don't let them. Don't you dare let them. Because the moment you start living by their script, you lose yourself. You become a shadow, a hollow version of who you were meant to be. And the world doesn't need more shadows. It needs you unfiltered, unapologetic, and unchained. It needs your unique story, your perspective, your light, and your darkness. And here's the thing. The people who try to hold you back, the ones who can't stand to see you break free, they're not afraid for you. They're afraid of you. They're afraid of what you'll become if you step into your power. They're afraid of what you'll achieve if you stop playing by their rules. Because deep down, they know they're trapped in their own scripts, and your freedom terrifies them. So, don't just break free, shatter the chains. Burn the script they've handed you and write your own. Make it bold. Make it daring. Make it unforgettable. And don't worry about the critics, the doubters. They'll always be there, lurking in the shadows, whispering their poison. Let them talk. Let them hate. Because their words have no power over you unless you let them. You've got this fire inside you, this untamed, unstoppable force. And it's time to let it burn. It's time to stop apologizing for who you are. Stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Stop pretending to be something you're not. It's time to rise. To roar. To claim the life that's waiting for you. Life without a script isn't easy, it's terrifying. But it's also exhilarating. It's raw, unpredictable, and beautifully imperfect. And it's yours. Completely, utterly, unapologetically yours. So, stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the right moment. Stop waiting for someone to hand you the answers. The truth is, you already have everything you need. It's been inside you all along, the strength, the resilience, the fire. You just have to unleash it. You just have to trust yourself. You just have to take that first step into the unknown, no matter how scared you are. And when you do, when you embrace the chaos, the uncertainty, the pain, and the beauty of a life without a script, you'll find a freedom like no other. You'll discover a strength you never knew you had, and you'll create a story that will leave the world in awe. So, go ahead, rip up the script, step into the spotlight, and show the world who you truly are. Because life has no script, and that's your greatest power. Every unscripted step you take is a declaration of war against conformity. Every mistake, every stumble, it's proof that you're alive, that you're fighting, that you're daring to carve your own path in a world that begs you to follow theirs. So stumble boldly, fall with pride, because every fall is a lesson. Every scar is a story. Every wound is a badge of honor. You see, the people clinging to their scripts, the ones too afraid to step off the path, they'll never know what it feels like to truly live. They'll never taste the sweetness of victory after 100 defeats. They'll never feel the thrill of chasing something that sets their soul on fire. They'll never know what it means to rise from the ashes stronger, fiercer, more unstoppable than before. But you're different. You're not afraid to get your hands dirty. You're not afraid to risk it all for something you believe in. You're not afraid to stand alone in a world that demands you fit in. And that makes you dangerous. That makes you powerful. That makes you unstoppable. Because when you live without a script, you become unpredictable. You become untamed. You become the kind of force that can't be controlled, can't be silenced, can't be defeated. You become the kind of person who changes the game, who rewrites the rules, who leaves a legacy that can't be erased. And let me tell you something. The world fears people like you. It fears the ones who refuse to play by its rules, who refuse to stay in line, who refuse to settle for anything less than their own truth. But that fear? It's not your problem. It's their weakness. So, keep going. Keep pushing. Keep breaking free. Because the only limits you have are the ones you place on yourself. The only chains that bind you are the ones you refuse to break. And the only script you have to follow is the one you write with your own blood, sweat, and tears. And when the world tries to stop you, when it throws everything it has at you to make you quit, don't you dare give in. Now go. Embrace the chaos. Chase the impossible. Write the script that only you can write, and make damn sure it's a story worth remembering. And remember this, every great story begins with chaos. Every legend starts with doubt, with rejection, with failure. The heroes you admire, the ones who carved their names into history, they all walked through fire before they stood in glory. Do you think they waited for someone to hand them a script? No, they tore the pages apart, burned the rules, and created their own masterpiece. You're not here to follow. You're not here to conform. You're here to create, to destroy what doesn't serve you, to rebuild something stronger, something more profound. You're here to make them see, to make them feel, to make them remember that you are not ordinary. The world will laugh at you. Oh yes, they will. It will try to convince you that you're lost, that you're crazy for believing in yourself when no one else does. But let me ask you this. Why does their laughter matter? Why does their approval define your worth? Their laughter. It's just the sound of their fear. Fear of your freedom, fear of your power, fear of what they don't understand. You don't need their applause. You don't need their permission. You only need the fire inside you, the voice that whispers, keep going, when the world is screaming, stop. You need the grit to crawl when you can't walk, to rise when you've been knocked down 1,000 times. That's what separates the greats from the rest, the refusal to give up, the audacity to keep fighting when there's nothing left but pain. Pain, yes, that familiar friend. It's always there, isn't it? Whispering in your ear, taunting you, trying to break you. But here's the truth. Pain doesn't mean stop. Pain means grow. Pain is the price of transformation, the toll you pay for becoming something greater. So embrace it. Own it. Let it fuel you, not rule you. The ones who avoid pain, they live half lives. Comfortable, predictable, empty. But you're not like them. You're willing to bleed for what you want. You're willing to fight battles most wouldn't dare to face. And that makes you unstoppable. So let them doubt you. Let them mock you. Let them think you'll never make it. Because when you rise, and you will rise, it won't just be your victory. It'll be their lesson. A lesson they'll never forget. A reminder that you can't break someone who's already been through hell and kept walking. This life, it doesn't hand out rewards to the timid. It doesn't honor the cautious. It celebrates the bold. It remembers the fearless. And it bows to the relentless. So be relentless. Be fearless. Be the person who looks at life's chaos and says, bring it on. Because you don't need a script. You don't need their approval. You don't need their rules. You only need your fire, your will, your unshakable belief in who you are and what you're capable of. And that's enough. That's everything. That's power. Now go. Burn brighter. Fight harder. Live louder. And never apologize for being the unstoppable force that you are. The truth is, they don't hate you for your failures. No, they hate you for your persistence, for the fire that refuses to burn out. Even when they throw storms your way, they can't stand to see someone who keeps standing up when they've done everything to keep you down. That's why they talk, why they mock, why they doubt. It's not about you, it's about their fear. Fear that you might actually succeed. Fear that you'll prove them wrong. Fear that your light will shine brighter than anything they could ever muster. But listen closely. Their fear is not your burden to carry. Their insecurities are not your chains to wear. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them your silence. You owe them nothing but your continued rise. The journey you're on, it's lonely. It's painful. But it's necessary. Greatness doesn't come with a cheering crowd or an easy path. It comes with blood, sweat, and tears. It comes with nights of doubt, with mornings of exhaustion, and with days where the world feels like it's against you. But it also comes with triumph, with glory, with the satisfaction of knowing you built something they said you couldn't. You see, life doesn't hand out victory on a silver platter. It doesn't come wrapped in a pretty bow. No life will make you fight for it. It will test you, push you, and sometimes it'll break you. But it's in that breaking that you discover who you really are. It's in the struggle that you find your strength, and it's in the pain that you learn how to rise. Every step forward is a step closer to becoming the person you're meant to be. And yes, some steps will feel impossible. Some will hurt like hell. But those are the steps that matter most. Those are the moments that define you. So when you feel like stopping, when you feel like giving in, remember this: the pain is temporary, but the pride of overcoming it, that lasts forever. They say life isn't fair, and they're right. But here's the thing, you don't need fairness. You don't need a level playing field. You just need your grit, your determination, your refusal to quit. That's what levels the playing field. That's what turns the odds in your favor. So, stop waiting for life to hand you a script. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There's only now. Right here, right now. This is your moment. This is your time to rise, to fight, to defy every limit they tried to put on you. The world may not believe in you, but you have to believe in yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're all you've got. And that's enough. That's always been enough. So go ahead, take the first step, and then the next. And keep going. Until the world has no choice but to see you, to respect you, to remember you. The world will try to bury you in doubt, in fear, in silence. It'll pile on expectations, comparisons, and judgments until you feel like you're suffocating. But you've got to remember something important: flowers grow through dirt. They push through the weight of the earth to bloom in the sunlight. And you're no different. The dirt they throw at you, the pressure they try to crush you with, it's all fuel. It's all a part of what will make you bloom. Let them laugh at your dreams. Let them call you crazy. Because the truth is, the people who change the world are always the ones who always dream bigger than their circumstances. They're the ones who aren't afraid to look foolish while chasing something extraordinary. But remember this: every laugh, every sneer, every doubter, they're just noise. And noise, it fades. What doesn't fade is your legacy. What doesn't fade is the mark you leave when you refuse to quit. Pain has a funny way of becoming your greatest teacher. It strips away everything untrue. It shows you who's real, who's fake, and most importantly, who you are. Pain doesn't lie. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't coddle you. It sharpens you. It makes you raw, honest, and unstoppable. But only if you let it. Only if you choose to face it head on instead of running from it. Because running, that only makes the pain last longer. Facing it, that's where the growth begins. Here's the thing about life: it doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't wait for you to feel confident or prepared. It moves relentlessly, unapologetically, and you've got to move with it. Even when you're scared, especially when you're scared. Fear is just a signal that something important is at stake. So lean into it. Embrace it. Let it drive you forward instead of holding you back. They'll try to tell you what you can't do. They'll try to remind you of every failure, every mistake, every flaw. But here's what they don't understand: your flaws don't define you. Your mistakes don't define you. What defines you is what you do after. How you rise, how you fight, how you keep going when the world expects you to give up. That's what makes you unforgettable. That's what makes you legendary. You weren't put here to live a quiet, small, safe life. You were put here to make noise, to take risks, to push boundaries, and yes, to fail. Because failure isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's the spark that lights the fire of greatness. So don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid of not trying. Be afraid of standing still while life races past you. Because here's the truth. Life will pass you by if you let it. Dreams will die if you let them. But you've got the power to fight back, to rewrite your story, to turn your pain into power, your fear into fuel, and your doubt into determination. So don't waste another second waiting. Don't waste another second listening to the voices that tell you you're not enough. You are enough. You've always been enough, and it's time you started acting like it. People will always underestimate you. They'll look at your scars, your failures, your past, and they'll make the mistake of thinking that's all you are. But let me tell you something about scars. They're proof. Proof that you've survived. Proof that you've endured what others couldn't even imagine. Proof that you're stronger than the pain that tried to destroy you. So wear your scars. Like armor, not chains. Let them remind you and everyone else that you're a warrior, not a victim. Do you know why most people stay stuck? Because they're too afraid to take the first step. They sit there, frozen, waiting for the perfect moment. But here's the ugly truth. There's no such thing as the perfect moment. There's only now. And every second you wait, every second you hesitate, is a second you'll never get back. So stop waiting for life to hand you opportunities. Go out there and create them. Forge them from nothing if you have to. Because nothing worth having ever comes easy. It's easy to blame the world for your pain, to point fingers, to play the victim, to let your anger fester. But where does that get you? Nowhere. Blame doesn't build empires. Excuses don't move mountains. If you want something, you have to take responsibility. You have to own your life, your choices, your pain. Because the moment you do, that's the moment you take back your power. That's the moment you stop being a prisoner of your circumstances and start becoming the architect of your destiny. You've got to understand something. The people who tear you down, the ones who doubt you, who belittle your dreams, they're not stronger than you. They're just louder. And the only reason they're loud is because they're scared. Scared that you might actually prove them wrong. Scared that you might rise above them. Scared that you might become everything they're too afraid to be. So let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them hate. Their noise doesn't matter. What matters is what you do in the silence. What matters is how you rise when no one's watching. The road you're on, it's not going to be easy. There will be nights when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when every step forward feels like dragging a mountain, when giving up feels like the only option. But in those moments, you have to remember why you started. You have to remember what's at stake. Because the pain you're feeling, it's temporary. The struggle, temporary. But the regret of giving up, that lasts forever. So push through. Fight harder. Rise higher. Because every storm you survive makes you stronger. Every battle you win makes you wiser. And every defeat you endure teaches you something no victory ever could. They say life isn't fair. And they're right, it isn't. But that's not an excuse to roll over and give up. That's your reason to fight harder. To rise above the chaos, the doubt, the pain. Because fairness doesn't determine success, grit does. Resilience does. The ability to keep moving forward when the odds are stacked against you. That's what separates the winners from the losers. That's what separates the legends from the forgotten. This world doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't owe you happiness or success or comfort. But that doesn't mean you can't take it. That doesn't mean you can't fight for what's yours. Because the truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you your dreams on a silver platter. If you want it, you have to bleed for it. You have to sweat for it. You have to fight for it. And when you finally get it, when you finally taste the sweetness of victory, that's when you'll realize it was all worth it. Every tear, every scar, every sleepless night, it was worth it. People will question you. They'll ask, why even bother? They'll tell you to take the easy route, to settle, to stop dreaming so big. But here's the thing, they're not you. They don't carry your fire, your hunger, your vision. Their voices are just the echoes of their own fears. And fear? Fear is a liar. It will whisper in your ear, you can't do it. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough. But let me tell you something, fear only has the power you give it. Starve it. Silence it. And when you do, you'll realize it was never as big as you made it out to be. You're going to lose people along the way. Friends, family, lovers, they'll fall away like leaves in the wind. And it'll hurt. God, it'll hurt. But you have to understand something. Not everyone is meant to walk the same path as you. Some people are only chapters in your story, not the whole book. And that's okay. Let them go. Because the ones who truly matter, they'll stay. They'll support you. they'll fight with you. And if they don't, then maybe, just maybe, they weren't meant to be part of your journey in the first place. Pain is a teacher. It's cruel, unforgiving, and relentless. But it's the best teacher you'll ever have. Pain doesn't care about your comfort zone. It doesn't care about your excuses. It pushes you, breaks you, forces you to grow. And growth isn't pretty. It's messy, chaotic, and painful. But it's necessary. Because every time you endure pain, every time you embrace it instead of running from it, you become stronger, wiser, unstoppable. So don't fear the pain, use it. Let it mold you, shape you, and sharpen you into the person you were always meant to be.